howdy guys, thanks for tuning back on in. I'm Imperial Jedi. This is the third episode of how to start your transit empire, and I think so far so good, right? Not to jinx it or anything, but yeah, I think we're off to a pretty good start. And in the last episode, we had almost got to starting our first industrial trucking route, and I think we're going to start this episode by doing that. So just north of Detroit, we've got a farm, and I'd like to bring cattle and grain from that farm to a food processing plant that's just a little bit north of that, and then we can bring the food itself back to Detroit. And then that should hopefully start to grow Detroit as a city. And then what I think we're going to do is extend line 13, which is the current line that we're on, and this is the one that goes in between Little Rock and Pueblo. And I'd like to include Detroit in that little link, and then I think we're going to remove the bus line that goes in between Little Rock and Detroit. And I'd also like to set up a cargo route. Oh, I just unlocked a new vehicle. Cool. So I want to have a cargo train route as well. So let's go ahead and get started with that, shall we? And then just some other things I want to do this episode. I would like to have just a little bit of discussion about automatic vehicle updates. And then we'll, I'll just kind of show you guys how to upgrade some trains that you already have on your lines, like that kind of stuff. Okay, so I just want to drop down the train station really quickly in Detroit. And just my reasoning for that is I just want, you know, the train station to kind of be where the garage and everything is. And we're going to be buying some street vehicles, so Detroit is going to get a garage. And then since the city will be growing, you might as well just get these in place now. And we don't have to worry about the roads kind of blocking. There's new roads coming in, speaking of which. And so, just in general, I'll tend to do a 2-track line, just throughout like my entire kind of empire. You know, and when things are all said and done, maybe we'll have as many as 8 or 9 cities, kind of all in one straight line, working on the same kind of route. And then just if you have a 2-line setup, it's just so much easier, I think, than having one or multiple just for managing things. Especially if you have all your switches and everything kind of working on the same kind of principle. Alright, so just hold this spot with these. Excellent. Okay, so let's put in our truck stop. And actually, if you're just curious to see how your city is, like the land use and the zoning and stuff, just click on this button over here. Click on the land use, and you can see just a visual breakdown. So the green is our residential, the yellow is our factory space, and the blue is our commercial. So we want our trucking to be kind of in and around where our factory is going to be. So I'm going to put that over here. Perfect. And I'm using one of the large ones here because I imagine we're going to bring in, some more goods and like plastics and like that kind of stuff when the city gets a little bit bigger. But for the moment, let's just start small. Usually farming is a pretty good starting option. Farming or oil or like logging is pretty simple to get going off the like early on. Okay, now the route in between these two places you can see was just a little bit long and convoluted, so we're just going ahead and adding in a new road right here just to kind of connect these places a little bit faster. And then now we're going to be putting down our truck stops over here. And then just like when you're doing bus stops and like train stations, you just want to make sure that the farm is part of the catchment area. So you see when we put this near the road, see the farm gets highlighted. That's perfect. That's what we're after. So we want that one right there. This is the food processing plant. This is where it goes. So same idea. Just put that right there. Cool. Super easy peasy. Okay, so let's start a new line. And this one, the first stop is going to be at the farm. We'll pick up our cattle and grain. Then we'll drop it off here for processing. And then once it becomes food, we bring it back on down to Detroit. So that's that loop right there. Very simple. And let's just get that going so it can work in the background. Let's try not to destroy that building there. Alright, now this is going to seem a little bit overkill, but just like our inner city or between two city bus lines, I'm going to do like lots and lots and lots of trucks, maybe like 20 plus type thing. And then the idea with your your trucking lines and stuff, and just your freight in general, is so over here at the farm, we're going to look and make sure this is connected. It won't be instantaneous, but you would see line usage would say yes, and then you would see the farm start producing goods. It's just up to you, not up to you, but it's like kind of your job to make sure that the goods don't end up piling up here for too long. Because then there's no real incentive for the farm to keep producing stuff if it's just kind of hanging out at the truck stop, not really going anywhere. So, in order to have an efficient route, you just got to make sure the goods are flowing. And so consequently, we don't want them to kind of be sitting as food over here in our processing plant. We want to make sure that it's getting to Detroit and getting, eaten by our people. And so we may need to adjust the number of vehicles on the line. Let's make this 3-speed, get everything moving a little bit faster. But for the moment, we'll just keep an eye on these guys. We'll just let them do their own thing. You can kind of see they're going to set up their own spacing, so they'll kind of just hold back a little bit here. And while this is going on, what I want to start doing is the just general framework for our cargo train line. And what I want to do is bring some oil from here down to here, so we can split it into oil and gas. And that should hopefully be pretty profitable. And then what we can do to help the train line is we can connect these two by truck, and we can bring more oil in on a truck and then load that onto the train. Okay, so lots to do, but let's ambitiously get it done here. So that means that we're connecting these two spots with just a simple little highway for faster, faster driving. Trying to cut back on the terraforming. Hopefully. Excellent. And then, arguably this could be a train route. I think it might be a little bit short to be one, so it's probably a bit more efficient for it to be trucking. Because trains, they're just very expensive. It's kind of what it comes down to. Okay, so maybe not the prettiest, but we still got it. And so, same idea. We'll just put in our trucking stops over here. Just making sure that they're part of the catchment area. Cool. And so that one will go over here. And then we're going to have our train station just end right here. I'll make this one a terminal station. I don't normally use too many of these. And we're going to try and go in a spot where like the land and the terraforming kind of work with us. So I think that's pretty much what we're after right there. And then this rail line is going to sneak its way through here, cut across our main line, and then just end up over there. So why don't we stretch these rails out. Change that orientation just the slightest amount. There we go. And these will just connect to there, which is perfect. And then I'm going to make all of these fall back into themselves so that we only have two lines here. Or sorry, two sets of rails, but we'll do that a little bit further down just so we can kind of separate traffic moving into Little Rock. Okay, so over here, it's a little hilly. Maybe not the best terrain to work with. So we can probably put... what's our collision here? Oh, it looks like that part of the road is giving us some trouble. Just move that across. And, if you don't like this kind of stuff, it's not impossible to terraform. A little bit challenging, but use a small brush. A little bit better. Actually, that's much cleaner. I like that. Okay. Just the little things sometimes, Okay, so let's put in our terminal station here. I guess we really only need one track. Same with the other side. We really only needed one. And I'll find that my cargo will start to stack on the side that is closest to the industry. So why don't we just downgrade this just for simplicity's sake? Yeah, that's fine. Oh, that's interesting the way it did that. I guess all the goods will pile on that side now. Okay, let's connect these two. And we will be using multiple trains on the line, even though we just have one track going into the station itself. We'll still set up a 2-track kind of system over here. And it's super easy to set that up. Okay, so let's just try and cross over this without doing too much terraforming. See what that looks like. Yeah, it does dip down a little bit, so let's try that part again. There we go. Oh, that's much cleaner. I like that. And then this side definitely goes downhill a little bit. Oh, that's much better. Okay, well, let's go in like that. Great. And then we'll just set up our 2-track system, so we'll have the other line just go right next to it, of course. That is really cool. And so we'll of course have to put our signals in front of that big crossing, and then we'll have to kind of decide who gets priority type thing. Oh, excellent. New trucks. Okay, cool. Remember I was saying we were going to talk about automatic vehicle upgrades? I think we're going to do just a little bit of that really quickly. Let me just put down these switches and signals. So yeah, here we'll just put the stops, and then just to make sure everything is clear, those go like that. Or wait a minute. That's not what I want. I want that one over there, that one like that, and that one. There we go. Oh, I'm confusing myself here. There we go. So that should route those people properly. Okie dokie, that is that. And let's do automatic vehicle upgrades. So we just unlocked the trucks, which is awesome. I'm going to wait till we get more land vehicles before I do the rest of these. But just for starters, so we're going to click on our set vehicle. We're going to find the one we want. And we can click OK, or we can double click here. And then you see that it's right there, perfect. Just click yes, and we want it at 100%. So when the vehicle is ready to be replaced, it gets replaced. Easy peasy. Okay, so now a garage. There we go. And we'll just need to make sure that we have proper signals and switches for our sidetrack here. So that would stop you there. Bit of a long wait to get in and out, but that's fine. Not too many trains will actually be on this. Okay, so a new line, please. And we would like a line that goes from here to here, and this is for our trucking. Oh, actually, we want that to drop off, sorry, at the train station. Oh, these two don't. Oh, interesting. It has to be at the truck stop. Okay, well, it'll migrate from the truck stop to the train station. I think I knew that in the back of my mind. Okay, and now we're going from here and down to here and back. Cool. And then in order for our system to keep working, we're going to have to get the goods out of here. So we're going to have to make a new route that just brings the gasoline into Little Rock. So lots to do just to get this little thing set up, but totally worth it. Ooh, and new streetcars, cool. We'll put our trucking down here, actually. And then we'll put a truck stop here. Over in our industrial part of town. Okay, then create a new line, just going from here over to here. Okay. That one will be a pretty easy route to put vehicles on, so let's do that one first, then we can put on the trains, and then we can put on the next set of trucks. Not too many of these, it's pretty close. I'm looking for the highest number, which is line number 20. Let's get a train going. These are going to be very expensive. We want something that has a lot of pulling power. Actually, that's got a lot of power. Let's use these ones here. 80 kilometers an hour, not the best speed though, so we're going to want an upgrade eventually. But I think price-wise, this is pretty darn good. And then unfortunately, the tanker cars are very, 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 very expensive, so I'm not going to do a very long train. Maybe we'll just do that. And then we'll clone that, put 3 of them on the line. That should be good for the speed and the pacing and all that kind of stuff. Set those. And then now let's just do our little truck route between these two. I guess we can send the vehicles out from Detroit for that. It's not as long of a line, but we still need, you know, I'd say a few vehicles, right? And that should be, I guess, line number 18. That would make sense to me, right? Let me just double check that, because I think 18 is what we want. Yep. Cool. Yep, everything's good. Okay, so since we're over here, let us get our automatic vehicle updates set. So our streetcars, perfect. We'll wait for our buses to be unlocked before we worry about those. Just so we don't have to do it twice, basically. But what I'll do is, once we unlock a few vehicles, or at least the ones I kind of want to use, I'll just get into the habit of, like, right after creating a line, I'll set up the automatic vehicle replacement. However, I won't do that with my trains, or to a certain extent boats and planes. I might not be choosing those ones when when it's time for an upgrade. And they're very expensive, so if we end up buying, you know, a few trains by accident that we don't really need, it's expensive and unnecessary maintenance. And also too, I mean, you just want to make sure you've got cash on hand, because you saw we just bought some trains. It's quite a few million. So if you were planning to save for something else, and all of a sudden all these trains just suddenly had to get purchased, and maybe that'll throw your plans into whack, you know, we just want to avoid that basically. Set this up for our trucking routes as well. Perfect. And it looks like our trucking routes, they're not quite profitable yet, but I think we're getting close. Let's take a look and see what the issue is here. Yeah, so it looks like maybe our spacing wasn't 100% proper, because it looks like our production has slowed down a little bit. And I think one of the culprits might be, you can see these slower trucks kind of holding down everyone else. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm silly. These are trucks going elsewhere. So I forget I just said that. Either way, we might just not have the right amount of vehicles on the line here. It looks like we can probably use actually a few more trucks on that. Now, of course, the irony is I'm going to be buying some of these, and we're going to end up with that issue, but... Here we go. That should eventually fix itself, though. Oh, I didn't want... Oh, I did want 17. Good, we are in Detroit. Okay. Okay, now how are these lines doing? Let's make sure everyone's connected and working. Got anyone on here? No oil just yet. Okay, so we haven't hit line... Oh! Goodness gracious me, no wonder these aren't going to work. We have passenger stations down. Oh boy, I'm so embarrassed. Well, there's your problem. Good thing we just caught that right now. So for those of you that were kind enough to write me a comment, reminding me of what I just did right there, appreciate that, but we luckily caught it, so oh my goodness. Okay, so let's put that in place. Now, I wonder if we could have upgraded that to a, probably not, to a freight one, but... Construction was possible before, not possible now. There we go. Okay, so put the speed right back on. A little embarrassing, but I think we got this now. And more importantly, we should see this now connect to the proper lines. Just let that run for a second or two. And we should actually be paying off our loans at this point, since we got a lot of money coming in. Because you really do want that money saved for like a rainy day. There we go, some oil starting to accumulate. Perfect, some production happening. Hopefully these guys are coming. Nothing yet, but that is connected, so the system is now working. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Yeah, hopefully we can get this going. Because the idea is you want it to have proper spacing so that you're, moving the goods really quickly. And then if this thing keeps on producing, it'll go past the limit, it'll upgrade, which will be great, and it'll be producing even more. And then you're more of a winner. But you can kind of see why it's a little bit easier and more financially profitable to start off with, people and in transit and stuff instead of just going right into cargo and goods. Okay. We'll check back on that in a little second. And then just, in terms of industry, our late game kind of plan is to get some of these bigger goods kind of produced. So like tools and like machinery and like that kind of stuff, like plastics and everything. So, it's obviously not the first episode of industry, but a good way to kind of get our feet wet with this. And I think so far so good. And so until these lines are profitable, you'll notice a really big dip in our income, which is, again, why we want to have a really good base set up. But I think we're okay. Let's check on the profitability. Still nothing happening yet. And the main setback, of course, is that the oil producing train lines are not profitable. But it's a little bit slow to kind of get this all working, right? But look at this, we got some oil waiting. We got hopefully trains coming. Oh, when you do a vehicle upgrade, not a vehicle upgrade, when you upgrade, say we did an upgrade to the station, it's a known bug right now, but it's going to make the some of the trains switch their directions. So something just to be a little bit aware of, keep an eye out for that. I wouldn't say it's game breaking, but just, something to be aware of. Okay. So I think our next item on the docket is I want to start doing some in-town transit in Detroit. And I want to, eventually connect line 13 over to here. So we'll let the transport lines run, the cargo lines run in the background. And we'll just kind of, shift our attention over here, and then we can check on profitability and stuff. I'm just going to pull a couple loans here just for speedy's sake. Okay, so I think we'll just do our, same old song and dance. We'll have a bus line that goes through the city, and then we'll have a tram line that kind of goes around the outskirts. Okay. This should be pretty familiar by now. And of course, even though we're making money now, it's like nothing is set in stone. We could go broke, so I'm going to put more than we need in terms of bus stops. I kind of use that kind of style throughout the entire game, regardless of our income. Because, when you upgrade vehicles, obviously they're a little bit more faster, they can hold more people, so sometimes you got to sell how, the total number you have on the line, decrease that. And so if you don't get the balancing act just right when the game kind of gets a little bit later in, stages or whatever, you might go broke. So nothing's on easy street here is what I'm trying to say. We need our stops on this street. Okay, so new lines. And this will just be the line that falls back on itself. Again, nothing new right here. Close that off. Hey, cool, air travel. Was that 1920? Yeah, sounds about right. So I think in our next episode, we can start doing a small little air corridor. That'd be kind of fun. Give you guys some strategies and whatnot for that. Alright. So we're just getting our stops in place, then we'll put down our vehicles. And then we can check on the profitability of our trucking and stuff. Oops. Okay, so hopefully we'll be unlocking some new buses soon, because our road vehicles are starting to get to the end of their life cycle. Okay, let's just upgrade for trams. And we can see the tram icon appear now. Okay. That is that. Let's buy some trams. You see the new ones in action. It's a bit of a longer line, so let's maybe put 6 on the track. And these were used in Toronto around, 1918 to 1925 or a little bit later kind of ballpark. These are cool looking streetcars though. Let's follow one. Nice handsome vehicle. Interesting that it's I guess it's doing that to get the spacing proper. Alright, so let's let those run along. And let's buy some buses. And I think that was line 21, the gold color, right? Yep, perfect. Okay, so Detroit got some in-town transit. I still don't think we got this just right. So let's send one of these back. It's a little bit too frequent, I think, the stops. And we'll send that one back too. And we'll try with that as our number, because I think we're starting to get a little bit closer to the fine balancing act. This is becoming... This was used to be 3 million in debt. Now it's only 1.89. So let's double check and see that we're actually moving a good amount here. Mm, 10 out of 72. Definitely not anywhere near as much as I want. Production is increasing, so that's good. Maybe the key is to get a few more of these trucks going. No, they don't really have that much oil each on them. Maybe we have too many in here, so let's send one of these guys back. Oh, cool, new buses. Alright, let's set our automatic vehicle updates for the rest of our fleet now. We forgot to do these. And you can see, I'm not trying to discourage you guys, but like, industry, it's not easy peasy. Or it's not as easy peasy as we kind of thought it might have been in the beginning. Again, which is why you want to have a really good financial base going into it, so you got some room to have, some wiggle room with some lines that maybe won't be as profitable right away. Which is not the end of the world, it's just you want them to be profitable in the end, right, of course. So everything is still a work in progress, which is totally no problem. just go ahead and get all these sets. Okay. And then now that some of these vehicles are being replaced, I want to start taking a look at the pre-existing in-town transit lines in some of the other cities, just to kind of see if we need to add or take away some of the vehicles. Because when you're running a few unprofitable lines, you just want to make sure that the ones that are profitable are making like as much as possible. So really the key, if nothing else, is just to kind of maximize your efficiency on everything. Okay, so that's all of that set up. And hopefully this will make us some money soon. Not more than 10. Oh, there we go, 19. Okay. I'm getting there slowly. We got our gas right here. Okay. Gasoline with some fuel. Yeah, I mean, we're going places. I wouldn't say it's a perfect system just yet. Oh, look at that. One of our truck routes is profitable now. That one, hey, I'll write another one. Hey, okay. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to end things off with this episode right about here. Just to recap, we got a pretty decent start in our trucking and stuff. So we've got a farm route that picks up cattle and grain over here, drops it off at our processing plant over here, and then the food gets brought to Detroit, and we can see right over here, Detroit now getting some shopping, which is great. Got to bump all this up, and that'll help the city grow. And then now that Detroit is on the uppity up, we're going to in the next episode bring this rail line down and replace the bus line with some trains, so we can just make some more money. And then we've got a oil line starting, which is actually starting to make some money. That's pretty good. And that's being fed by this refinery, as well as a secondary truck route bringing in some oil. And so maybe to help this along, we could connect this one as well, and then bring even more oil into the system here. And again, it's all about that fine balancing act. So you might find that you need to adjust the number of the vehicles on your lines often, just to kind of get a pretty good flow of goods. But the idea is, if everything's just sitting around doing nothing in the depots, there's just no real incentive for your producers to keep on producing. So get those goods moving. Kind of my best advice. All right, guys. Well, I'll see you in the next one. Definitely drop me a comment. Let me know what you think. And I hope things are going well with your own cities. Definitely feel free to share some screenshots or post some questions, that kind of stuff. We've got a community subreddit and a Steam community page. So definitely hop on board and say hi to everyone. All right, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves. All the best.